Hi guys, my name is Senti, and today I'll be talking to you guys on the 12 books I hope to read this year. This is going to be an interesting one. Trust me, you guys. This is going to be an interesting one. You guys want to watch this video to the end to get every tea I'm going to talk about in this video. So, let's get right into the video. Nothing crazy what I'm about to say. So for me, it's almost that time of the year again where me and my siblings come together and we talk about books we want to read for the year. So what we do is that we pick 4 books and we read 1 book per quarter. The idea is to give everybody enough time to read so that we will not have excuses. And if for any reason you do not read these books, you're going to pay money. So if you want to avoid paying money, you actually have to read the books and read it fast. And so what we do is that after reading, we come together, we talk about the book, what did you learn from it? If it's a non-fiction book, we talk about what we learned from it, what principles you took from it, the ideas, what you're going to practice. And if it's for a fiction book, we just talk about the funny parts of the book, what we liked about it, and just basically just talk about the books and all of that. So since it's almost that time of the year, I decided that I will talk about 12 books that I want to read, and hopefully these 12 books that I'm picking out for myself, some of them will be integrated with what I want to read with my family, hopefully. I don't think I say this enough, but the idea of reading cannot be overemphasized, especially when we practice these principles or the ideas we read from these books. And now, for example, I'm talking about the non-fiction books. For fiction books, it is there to entertain us, it's there to widen our horizon, pick out our creativity, basically just expose your mindset to other things that are actually happening and all of that. So for the 12 books I'm going to be reading, I'm going to be breaking them down into 2 different categories. That's the fiction and the non-fiction. For the non-fiction, I'm going to be reading 3 different categories. That's the self-help or self-development, finance, and leadership. While for the fiction, I'm mostly going to be reading African literature. I have about 2 books that are not African literature, but about 4 of them is going to be African literature. The first book I'm going to be talking about is Good Vibes, Good Life. And this is a non-fiction book that is all about self-help, personal development, spirituality, and mental health. This book is going to help you to cultivate positive mindset habits, including mindfulness and meditation. It's going to help you to manifest your goals and how to achieve your goals, basically. And lastly, this book talks about practicing self-care, overcoming toxic energy, and prioritizing your well-being. The next book is one I'm very excited about because I listen to this guy's podcast. I won't say every day, but I listen to it a lot. And his name is Shetty, and the name of the book is Think Like a Monk. Think Like a Monk is a self-help book, personal development, health, and spirituality. Think Like a Monk reveals how to overcome negative thoughts, elevate yourself, and access the calm and purpose that lie within all of us. Now, this book is kind of similar to the first one in the sense that it helps you to overcome negativity, helps you to stop overthinking, and helps you to actually find your purpose. Now, the next book I'm going to be talking about is Atomic Habits. So, Atomic Habits talks about self-help, personal development, productivity, and leadership. There was one part of the book I read. It said something like, if you're having trouble changing a bad habit, or if you're having trouble changing your habits, the problem isn't you. The problem is the system that you've put in place to change that habit. So, this is just going to, I can already feel that this book has a lot of principles and a lot of practical ways that you can help yourself, to change your habits, change your life, change your thinking, So I'm actually looking forward to reading this book. I can't tell you guys how excited I am already, but I'm looking forward to reading this book. Unfortunately for me, I have a book here. So this is what Atomic Habits looks like. And now I'm just going to read some of the things I'm seeing at the back. So it says, people think that when you want to change your life, you need to think big. But world-renowned habits expert James Clear has discovered another way. He knows that real change comes from the compound effect of hundreds of small decisions. Doing 2 push-ups a day, waking up 5 minutes earlier, or just reading more than 1 page. He calls them atomic habits. I've been seeing this book everywhere. But the one whereby you don't follow the bandwagon, you want to make the decision on your own to actually take up this book, and that is what I've decided to do this year. I'm going to read this book. This book, there's somebody that I know that does not like reading, but I saw him reading this book. Like, he was reading this book, and I was like, okay, for you to be reading this book that like, he was really intentional. But for you to be reading this book that well, there's something in this book, there's tea in this book. So this is the 3rd book I'm going to read this year. So the fourth book is Women and Leadership. I can't remember why I saw this book, but I saw Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's name on the book, and I was like, okay, what's the name of this book? Let me see what it's about. And I'm very excited because this book was written by two women, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and Julia Gillard, and this book is all about women, leadership, politics, and is also a non-fiction book. So this book is based off on real experience, real ideas. So Women and Leadership presents a lively and readable analysis on the influence of gender on women access to positions of leadership, the perceptions of them as leaders, the trajectory of the leaders, and the circumstances in which it comes to an end. So I'm looking forward to reading this book. So I'm going to go over to the next book, and for the next book I'm going to be reading, it is The Intelligent Investor. Take note, I've not seen this book anywhere. I've not even heard of, the first time I heard about this book basically was when I was reading The Psychology of Money. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that The Psychology of Money is a book that had me on chokehold. It had me on chokehold. I learned a lot from that book. Let me just put it that way. I learned a lot from that book, and it was very interesting to read. It was very practical. It was very relatable. This video is not about Psychology of Money. It's about the books I plan on reading. So let me just talk about it. So the next book is The Intelligent Investor, and I saw The Intelligent Investor when I was reading The Psychology of Money. There was a particular quote from The Intelligent Investor in The Psychology of Money, and I was like, let me check this book out. And I realized that the book is about finance. So why not? Why won't I read this? So The Intelligent Investor is about personal finance, business, money, economics, and personal development. If you want to go into investment, if you want to know more about investment, you can't know about all these things without reading. So I think this book is going to be one. It's a very good book. So this is something I'm looking forward to reading this year. Finally, the last non-fiction book I am going to be reading is Your Money or Your Life. Ooh. I think what attracted me to this book was, apart from the fact that it was finance, was the name. Your money or your life. I don't know if you guys know that game we used to play when we were small. Is it your money or your life? Is it your money or your life? I think that's the name of the game. Your money or your life. So yeah, so that's what attracted me to this book, Your Money or Your Life. So Your Money or Your Life is about personal finance, money, self-help, and psychology. Basically, this book talks about, from the snippet I've seen, this book talks about knowing the difference between making a living and making a life. So I'm looking forward to reading this book, to be honest, because I want to understand and know the difference between making a living and making a life. So yeah, this is one book I hope to read this year. And it's about personal finance. So if you guys know, you know that I'm a finance person. I love reading about money, investment, all those things. So they get me. So this book is it's more like a good addition to my collection this year. Now I'm going to go over to the non-fiction books I'm going to be reading. Now the first non-fiction book I'm going to be reading, or rather the first non-fiction book on my list, is Rain Dance. This is the first non-fiction book, and Rain Dance is just a collection of short stories from different African writers, and I think that's the reason why I like this book, and that's the reason why I purchased it. I look for ways to actually encourage African writers and upcoming writers and all of that. So this book was edited by Orwell Uwazurike, Confidence Uwazurike, and Munachim Ama. So from the back, I'm just going to read some of the things I'm saying on the back. It says that the stories are surprising in the best ways, innovative, full of humor, and unflinching. These are exciting voices I hope to continue hearing from. So that's what somebody said. So Rain Dance is a collection of short stories on identity, love, hope, and self-discovery, told by rising and award-winning writers from across the African continent and beyond. The stories are a rich blend of suspense, humor, drama, and romance. So you can already see the reason why I'm interested in reading this book. Let me get into it. Alright, so Rain Dance is the first non-fiction book. So for the second non-fiction book, this is also from an upcoming writer. I saw her book, I think on an Instagram story from a friend of mine, and I was like, oh, okay, let me just try this book. And the name of the book is Daughter of the Earth, written by Chidinma Anozie, my namesake. So Chidinma Anozie has lived in Lagos, Nigeria all her life. She adores reading and just started writing her own storybooks. So it talks about, I think it's about romance, the book is about romance. So let me just read a little snippet from the back of the book. So because I don't give you guys everything that's been on the book, so you guys too can read. Do you understand? So it says, Ada is an insecure young woman. She's insecure about her weight and uses her dressing to hide her body. She works in a company as an admin assistant, but has dreams of being a copywriter, but does nothing to achieve it. Oh my goodness. I can already see myself enjoying this book. I can already see myself enjoying this book. So this is the second non-fiction book I have. I don't want to read the whole back and if I do, I'm just looking forward to reading the book. That's what I can say. I'm looking forward to reading the book. So this is the second non-fiction book I have. Now for the third non-fiction book, it is The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wives, written by Lola Shinenyi. You see this book, literally everybody in my family, everybody, they've all read the book. I'm the only one that hasn't read it, and I'm like, oh my god. I know that moment where you're talking and they're talking about the book, then there is FOMO happening, and I'm like, oh god, I'm missing out on so many things, and that's the reason why I want to read the book. So that me too, when they're talking about this book, I can, chip it too. I can talk. So I'm not looking at them like, oh my god, what is going on? Anyways, so the book is a funny and moving story told with love and compassion. Not That's a snippet of what is going to happen in the book. Say, to the dismay of her mother, Bolanle marries into a polygamous home and becomes the fourth wife of Baba Segi. She's a university graduate and as such highly prized by her husband. But even graduates must produce children, and her husband's persistent bellyache is a sign that things are not as they should be. So I've not read everything. I'm not going to read everything because I don't want to understand what's going on. I want to be surprised when I'm reading the book. So yeah, so this is the third non-fiction book that I'm going to be reading for this year. Now for the fourth non-fiction book I'm going to be reading, it ends with us. I think it's by Colin Hoover, if I'm not mistaken. You guys, I've been seeing this book everywhere. Hey, they will not let me rest with this book. Everywhere. It ends with us, it starts with us, it begins with us, it finishes with us, everywhere. It's something with us. So me too, I've decided for something to start with me. Let me read the book. So I do not really know anything about the book, and that's actually good for me because it makes me enjoy the book better when the suspense is there. And I'm the type of person that when I'm reading or when I'm watching movies, you see me giving commentary. What kind of rubbish is this? See, so it's better this way. Let me just pick up the book for the first time, start reading it, get surprised, cry, laugh, whatever it is. So I do not really have anything to say about the book because I've not really read the book or read anything about part of the book, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So the next one I'm going to be reading is Zikora by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I don't know why I'm excited for this because maybe it's because I like Chimamanda and I like reading her books. I love the way Chimamanda writes. Oh my goodness. I can't remember the first, was it Purple Hibiscus? I think Purple Hibiscus was her first book that I read and I was in love with her writing. The ease at which this babe writes. Oh my goodness. I was like, Chimamanda, it is it. So the next one is Zikora, and let me just read a little bit about what I've seen about Zikora. So when Zikora, a DC lawyer from Nigeria, tells her equally highly powered lover that she's pregnant, he abandons her. It's over. I'm not reading more again. I'm just going to wait till I read the book to understand what is going on. My goodness. I'm excited for this book. And Zikora is all about African literature, contemporary feminism, and all of that shebang. So this is another one I'm looking forward to reading. Now, the last one, the final book I'm hoping to read is The Perfect Marriage. Let me just read the snippet again of what I saw about this book. Sarah Morgan is a successful and powerful defense attorney in Washington, D.C. At 33 years old, she is named partner at her firm, and life is going exactly how she planned. The same cannot be said about her husband, Adam. He is a struggling writer who has little success in his career. He begins to tire of his and Sarah's relationship, and as she is constantly working. Wahala for who enter marriage, wahala. But anyways, I'm looking forward to reading this one too. It looks like something that's going to be interesting, and a bit of realistic things about how marriages are, and I'm just looking forward to it basically. So this is the last one. This is the last book, and this is the 12th book. So I've come to the end of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, if you have more books that you think that will find interesting, especially when it comes to finance, property investments, or even African literature books, please write them down in the comment section, and I hope to get them and read them. Something I think I'm going to be doing, or rather something I think I'm going to do in the future, is to review each of these books I'm going to be reading, especially the non-fiction book, in a situation whereby I implement some of the principles or the ideas in my life, if they helped me, or what tweaks I did for the principles to work for me. Literally, I'll just giving reviews of the book, and I'll be telling you guys if they helped me. So that's one thing I think I'm going to do in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So thank you guys for watching once again. Do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.